Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you are watching this video, let me welcome you all to our channel Future Endeavors. Okay, so we are uploading the video after a long time. Sorry for the delay. There have been some health issues, so obviously we are sorry for the delay. We regret for that. Okay, so without much wasting time, today we will be starting with a new lesson, and the lesson is refraction through a lens. In the previous classes, we have discussed about refraction through a plane surface. In this class, we will be discussing about refraction through lens. So, first of all, just let us have a brief review of what is a lens. So, make heading for the chapter name, refraction of lens. Refraction through lens. Refraction through lens. So this is chapter name. Fine. Now, before we talk about refraction, just let us briefly recapitulate what lens is. I think if you have remembered, we have read about lens in, I think, class 8. Okay. So all of you have a little bit of knowledge about lens. Definitely, you know the spectacle that I am wearing. You must be knowing that the glass are actually kind of lens. Okay, so this is a very common example that you can give of lens. So what is actually lens? So first of all, actually in many books, this lens, the word lens has been used synonymously with the word spherical lens. So why is it so? Actually, if we see the structure of lens, actually a lens can be made from a hollow glass sphere. The glass must be transparent in nature. So if I consider a glass sphere like this, okay, so please don't judge the circle, it's not fully circle, it has assumed a different shape. Okay, so ignoring that fact, let us just consider that this is a glass sphere, and let us consider another glass sphere, say which is merged like this. Let us say it is merged like this. Okay, so what do you get? So you say let's merge like this. Okay, so what do you get? You get a common portion like this. You get a common portion like this, isn't it? The shaded part. If I just omit these side parts, okay, what we get is one kind of lens. What is this lens called? We will be dealing with it little better. Just we are telling that this is obviously one kind of lens. So how have you obtained it? Definitely we have obtained that lens using two glass spheres. Okay. Again, let me draw another diagram. If I consider another circle, another two spheres, as I said, another two spheres like this. This represents one sphere, and okay, so a little bit of space problem. Let me just draw it a bit sideways more. So this is a sphere, and this is another sphere. Let's consider this zone. Just please ignore the shape of the spheres. Consider the concept. So if I consider these two spheres and consider the region in between. Okay. So this region in between means this portion, isn't it? This portion. So obviously, you think this portion again forms what is a lens. So if you just erase the rest part like this, okay, so this again becomes a lens. Okay, so now we will be just quickly reviewing the definition for lens. So what actually is lens? I think all of you can guess a little bit. So lens is nothing but a transparent medium. It's a transparent medium, okay, bounded by either two spherical surfaces. Generally they are bounded by two spherical surfaces, or it can be also such that it is bounded by one spherical surface and one plane surface. Okay, it can be also like this, it is bounded by one spherical surface and one plane surface. Okay, so we will be seeing that diagram a little bit later. For now, just consider that lens is a transparent medium bounded by two spherical surfaces. Okay, so this is the definition of lens. Now, basically, so spherical lens that we are talking of are of two kinds, isn't it? Spherical lens that we are talking are of two kinds. This lens is actually called the convex lens. This lens is actually called the convex lens. Okay, so if I just give the description of convex lens, so it's fat or thick in the middle. See, it's thick in the middle, isn't it? And thin at the edges. So thick in the middle and thin at the edges, isn't it? It's thin at the edges. So this kind of structure is called a convex lens. And if I just consider the figure on the left, so this kind of structure is called concave lens. Again, if I just give a brief description, the middle is thin. The middle is thin. Okay, the middle portion is thin, whereas the edges are thick. The edges are thick. So these are the two kinds of lenses. Okay, so the edges are thick. So these are the two kinds of lenses. One is concave lens and another is convex lens. Okay. Now both these kinds of lenses are of three types. Again, if I just consider what are the types of the concave or convex lens, then again I can say that these are of three types. Just let us see what are the three types. I hope you have drawn these diagrams. If not, please pause the video, rewind it a little bit and take the notes. Okay, so it will be helpful for you. Okay, so if I consider what are the types of the convex or concave lens, so just let us come to the types of the convex lens first. See, convex lens can be of three types. What are the three types? First of all, if I consider this kind of lens where it is both bounded by both the spherical surfaces, this kind of lens is actually called biconvex lens. Okay. Another kind of convex lens is where one surface is a flat surface or plane surface, another is a convex. This kind of lens is called plano-convex lens. Plano-convex. And third kind of lens is, see, it will look like a convex lens, but it has also the characteristics of a concave lens. See, if you can just compare the definition, the middle is thick, edges are thinner, isn't it? Middle is thick, edges are thinner. So this is the basic criteria for convex lens, isn't it? So this kind of lens is called, but this side is actually a concave. So this kind of lens is called concave convex lens. Okay, so these are the three kinds of convex lens: biconvex, plano-convex and concave convex. So in the definition of lens, we have mentioned that lens is spherical transparent surface, transparent surface bounded by either two spherical surfaces or one flat or plane surface and the other spherical surface. So I think the definition is clear by now. Okay, so these are the three kinds of convex lens. And if I consider the kind of concave lens, okay, so what are the kinds of concave lens? Just let us see through the diagram. So concave lens is something like this. As you have seen in the previous figure, concave lens is something like this. It's thick in the edges, thick at the edges and thin at the middle. So this kind of lens is called biconcave lens. Okay, fine. Now, next is if there is one surface is plane and one surface is concave. Okay, so this kind of lens is called plano-concave lens. Plano-concave lens. Fine. And if I consider the third type, so it will look like somewhat concave, but the other end it looks like a convex from the other end. So this kind of lens where actually this is the concave lens, but why concave lens? Because it is thick at the edges, but on the one side it also looks like convex So this is like the previous naming we have done convex to concave, convex to concave. So this is the third kind of concave lens. Okay, so if you consider the types of lenses, these are the three kinds of convex and concave lens. Today we are just doing an introductory class on the lens. Okay, so please you don't be bothered about too much. Okay, just keep listening, and I think that easy things, these are the easy things that you can easily understand. Okay, so these are the three kinds of lenses, concave lenses. Okay, fine. Now we can explain the nature of a convex lens using the concept of prism, or the nature of the concave lens using the concept of prism. What is that? Let us see. Can you draw the convex lens like this? Say this is one prism, this is one parallel side glass slab. We have seen what is the reflection to parallel side glass slab, and this is one another prism. Okay, so we now consider the light ray. So it just see the structure is something like this. The structure is something like convex, isn't it? The structure is something like convex, isn't it? Obviously yes. Okay, so we consider the light ray. Now see the middle portion, the light ray just falls and passes through. Okay, the upper surface light ray, as it is a prism, so it will be refracted towards the base, and this part will be refracted like this. Okay, so what happens, actually convex lens basically converges the light beam to a point. Hence you can also regard the convex lens as to be what? This is regarded as converging lens. Converging lens. Okay, so concave lens is also called converging lens, isn't it? Okay, now if I consider the structure of a concave lens, so we can imagine it something like this. Say this is a inverted prism. Okay, the middle part is a thin glass slab, and again this is a thick prism, inverted prism also. Okay, so just consider that if I consider the structure like this, say this is almost a concave lens, isn't it? This is almost a concave lens. Yes, is it? Obviously it is almost a concave lens. So if I consider in prism action, the light ray to the middle passes undivided like this, the outer prism like this passes like this. Okay, and the prism below passes like this. Okay, so if I just trace back the light rays like this, it is looking like that as if the light rays have been diverging from this point, isn't it? It is looking like. Okay, so it is looking like that the light rays have been diverging from this point. So actually concave lens has a diverging nature, so we regard concave lens as diverging lens. Okay, so the explanation of the nature of lens through the structure of prism, I think the concept is clear. Okay, fine. So these are the two kinds of lenses. Okay, so in today's video we will be having a very brief class. We will not be continuing, we will be just stopping here. In the next class we will be discussing about the terms related to a lens in details. And okay, so for today I think we will be ending it here. If you have please any query, please do mention in the comment box, and we will be happy to solve your queries. And we are again very sorry for the delays. Okay, so I think now we will be able to keep able to post the videos on a regular basis. Okay, so please do study well till then, till the next video. Okay, let us say goodbye. Tata. Okay.